Good evening, everyone, and welcome to EdFest, sponsored by ALAS and NABSE. We are Harmony SEL and Inspire Teaching and Learning of National University. And we also have a special guest presenting with us tonight. We're talking about Harmony and Inspire being used in a school district. And we have a special guest with us tonight who's going to present on her school district, the school district of Osceola County. Our title is a little bit long. I guess I felt a little energetic when I wrote this. It's using SEL in strategic professional development to empower students and educators, a view of the school district of Osceola County's SEL journey. Our presentation team tonight, I'm John Pickens. I am the interim program manager for Harmony SEL. We also have Ms. Veronica Calvo, who's the Senior Manager of Partnerships for Inspire Teaching and Learning, and our special guest, Mrs. Danielle Saunders, District Elementary Counselor from the School District of Osceola County. Now, without further ado, we'll begin with an icebreaker. And what we want you guys to do is just describe yourself or how you're feeling right now in one word. And if you put your responses in the chat, I'll have Veronica read off some of the answers that she's seeing in chat. I know for me, I'm a little tired. It's later in the evening. Had a lot of meetings today, a little tired.
Yes, that was our number one, tired. I'm seeing a little content, overwhelmed, upbeat. That's great. Upbeat. We like that. Chill. Okay. That's great. Hopeful, anxious, stressed. These are some of the feelings that have come across the chat.
Yep, very good. And we thank everyone for their input. And at this point, I'm going to pass the mic over to Veronica to tell you a little bit about Inspire.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our program, Inspire. Here you'll see the mission. Our mission for Inspire is to have those inspirational teachers in the classroom, just like our guest speaker, Danielle. We always think about our students, and we want those inspirational teachers in those classrooms, inspiring their students, motivating them to do their very best. So you're going to hear Danielle tell you what she does as that inspirational teacher. Inspire is broken down into two different pathways. So we have on-demand modules, that's our resources, that help teachers really get to get their best teaching practices. And so our two inspirational pathways are building teaching practices and then developing SEL capacity. The developing SEL capacity is a great start for those who already are using Harmony. It ties very well and it's aligned to each other. And it gives the teacher an opportunity to go over modules such as building relationships with students or teaching students empathy as they're incorporating Harmony into the classrooms. So those are our pathways. Within our pathways, we have our units. There's 3 units for each pathways. And as you can see here, we have a total of 73 modules within our library. All of our modules are research-based, developed at Arizona State University. So you'll see some topics here that teachers can engage with as, again, they're working on their teaching practices and their professional learning. And then within the module, you'll have 5 extra resources. And that's just more for a deeper dive. As teachers, we know that we like to reflect. And so it gives the user an opportunity to reflect on what they're about to learn, what they're going to learn, and the next steps, what strategies they're going to take as they enter into the classroom or possibly in a virtual setting. And here we have this slide on implementation examples. So we work with schools and districts, such as Danielle's school district in Florida. And, we also partner up with different universities, organizations that really help with our mission. So some ways that schools and districts incorporate it is working with their new teachers in their new teacher plan. And then also, it's a great resource for veteran teachers. Sometimes we get in the habit of just kind of doing our thing as teachers as the years go by. And so a little refresher is always a great thing for us as well. This can be done at the school level, but really what our goal is to bring it to the district so that all schools within that district can really get into their professional learning using our modules and other resources that we have on our dashboard. So I definitely welcome and invite you to go into our portal to check out all of our resources that we have for teachers, educators, counselors, social workers, everyone who makes up that specific school, that specific district, to help them with their professional development and growth. So now I am going to he's already introduced himself. I'm going to pass it over to John, who will give you an overview of the Harmony program. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Veronica, for that great presentation. And what I want to do is just quickly talk to you about Harmony Social and Emotional Learning, kind of what it is. We are available at no cost. We are a Castle Select SEL program, primarily designed pre-K through 6th grade, and we address the 5 core SEL competencies. And you ask yourself, why should you use Harmony? Harmony is designed to foster communication, connection, and communication, both inside and outside the classroom, and as well to develop boys and girls into compassionate and caring adults. And then you may ask, third question, how is that accomplished? We provide educators with the tools to foster and support social connections among all students and to promote the social, emotional, and cognitive skills students need to successfully negotiate peer interactions, positive peer relationships, and to thrive within the school setting. Harmony incorporates multiple methods to teach positive relationships and to create inclusive classroom environments. A multi-layered approach is necessary to build a mutually respectful learning environment and build that within your classroom community, within your school community. That is the goal of Harmony. Now, how we accomplish that goal, we have what we call our everyday practices, which are our meetup, our buddy up, and our Harmony goals. And on top of that, we have lessons and activities that you can do within your classroom. You see here a picture of our online learning portal, and we'll give you at the end the link to where you can go to that portal and learn a lot more about the organization. Here we have 5 focus themes as we talked about during the lessons: diversity and inclusion, empathy and critical thinking, communication, problem solving, peer relationships. And we are currently working on a revision to our program. We're calling it Harmony 3.0 to address a lot of the needs that are being met right now. Now, that being said, what I'd like to do is turn it over to our special guest for tonight, Mr. Nell Saunders from the School District of Osceola County. She's going to talk to you about both Harmony and Inspire, how it's being used in their district, the great success that they're seeing within their district, and give you some examples of what it can look like in your district and organization. Thank you, Danielle, for joining us tonight. I now pass the microphone to you.
Thank you so much. It is definitely an honor to be here and to share this virtual space with all of you. I know that you had several other choices for breakout sessions, so we are honored that you chose us to share your time with. So I first came to know about Harmony as an elementary school counselor. I sat as John presented this free, amazing program, and I immediately began to practice a pitch that I would tell my principal as to why we needed this in our school. However, little did I know that the role that I played in the school districts of Osceola County was about to change. A few months later, I was presented with an offer to become the district elementary counselor, a position that hadn't been filled for the last 8 years. So with much hesitation, I did accept the position that I now have held for the past 4 years. So it's really funny the way higher powers work, because one of the very first things that I did in my new role was to participate in a school-wide training of Harmony at one of our elementary schools. As I sat there in the school's media center, I began to tear up, finally understanding why I needed to leave the school I loved and worked at for 9 years there's a bigger purpose to fulfill, a longer reach to be made, more students' lives to be positively affected. And from my new district position and with Harmony's help, I could begin that work. I wonder if any of you that are watching this right now can relate to that moment when it all made sense to you, the why behind your choice to work in education. So the District of Osceola County has come a long way from that one school-wide training 4 years ago. We currently have Harmony in some capacity in all of our 29 schools and all 30 of our VPKs. When asked, our teachers tell us that using Harmony in their classrooms daily has been very beneficial. Starting the day with a morning meeting allows for students to bring up any concerns that they may have and gives the teachers an idea on how they can help prepare the students for the day. Having Harmony as part of their classroom also allows for student-teacher relationships to strengthen. And as a result, students feel comfortable talking with teachers about things that are outside of just academics. Other benefits include stronger communication skills between the students. They learn the use of I statements and how to have accountability talks. One of the overwhelming unanimous benefits that the teachers all spoke of was gaining back that instruction time that was so easily lost before Harmony. Harmony has also been extremely beneficial when we had to make that pivot to digital learning. Here is a short testimonial from one of our 4th grade teachers, Miss McKenna. She states, being a digital classroom community this year, having time each week to focus on making connections has been huge. I strongly believe that carving out time for the use of discussion cards has been a great tool to allow me to better understand my students and for them to learn from each other. As a teacher, once I know more about students, I can then adjust my instruction to further engage them. This is so important being digital. As a student, once they hear other kiddos in the classroom open up, it gives them the courage to unmute their mic and be brave enough to share. Oftentimes, when they build confidence in sharing their personal connections and experiences, this leads to an increase in participation during instructional time too. When there's a safe and caring learning environment within the classroom that's provided to students, they're taught how to communicate and are provided a space to use their voice, they're empowered. Harmony is a great facilitator of all things necessary to empower students. And the earlier that we can provide them with those tools, the more likely they are to be productive, successful members of society as adults. Some of the other ways that we're using Harmony here in Osceola County are as follows. This year, we were able to embed SEL, social emotional learning, the 5 competencies, into all curriculum unit plans, K-12, which was an amazing milestone in itself. This is an example of what that looks like within our elementary curriculum unit plans. And you can see the castle wheel right here, and right here it shows the teachers. These are links to the different ways that they can embed that SEL. This is an example of what that looks like. And the teachers are encouraged to use collaborative structures to teach their content. Best practice is to teach the structures using non-instructional content. So what we had them use is the Harmony Quick Connection cards to help teach the structure of the month. So the integration of SEL and the collaboration that occurred between student services, guidance, curriculum and instruction was great. However, this is only the beginning. Currently, we have begun the process of evaluating what we did, how it was utilized, and what resulted from it. One thing we do know for sure is that we cannot just put things into unit plans and expect that teachers will know how to use them or that they're there. We know we need to do training on this, what it looks like and how to integrate it into the classroom. But it's an exciting first step for sure. So now this is something that I'm extremely proud of. With the complication of digital learning and the rise of mental health crises, we needed to problem solve how we could reach students who were home and disconnected. So this virtual helpful space that you see was created to help solve that problem. Pretty much everything you see can be clicked on and will take students to a resource, a calming strategy, or a read aloud. As you can see, I absolutely, it's just right down here, had to make sure that Z made it into the space. And when you click on Z, he takes you to a read aloud of one of the Harmony lessons. We're able to track how many hits we get to the spaces. And to date, we roughly have 40,000 hits. We have one of these helpful spaces for secondary, which is this down here. And then we also have one for our staff, that's here. I don't know if you've noticed in each of the spaces, we do have the same dog. That's my supervisor's dog, Brady. And if you click on him, he'll take you to some really fun videos of puppies. It's always good to laugh. So students and staff can access these spaces via their class link. So this is what it looks like when they go on their class link. And I can show you what some of this looks like. So when you click on it, it goes there, and we'll click on Z.
Grammarly helps make your writing
Of course, there's
clear
going to
and
be a commercial.
no matter where you are.
Hi, boys and girls. It's me, Miss Franklin. Do you know what time it is?
So we can go
It's
to,
time to learn with T. It's time.
and let's see, let's go back to another one. So this, in the helpful space for the teachers, we have the competencies here. There's Brady again, some calming music, but this is really cool because if you go behind this door, you click on the door and then it takes you to a whole other room. And in this room, they can go to different videos that are calming videos, just relaxing, all kinds of really cool things. So, let me try to get out of that, sorry. Can't get to it. Sorry, with this thing in the way, I cannot get to the video. All right, so those are some of the things that you can, the staff and the students can go to. We made sure that to ensure equity and access by putting it on their class link that all of the students have access to and the staff. So again, just another thing that we're really proud of here in Osceola County. And by the number of hits that we have, we can definitely tell that the students and the staff are using it as well. Okay, so those are just some of the ways that we are using Harmony to promote SEL and empower students. Now I'd like to transition to something that's just as exciting, and that's how we're using Inspire to empower educators. When I first learned about Inspire several years ago, I immediately spoke to our professional development department and championed the resource. It took a little bit, but eventually they called me and asked, so what's that Inspire thing? And professional development really took hold of it and ran. As you can see here on the slide, over 210 individual participants have taken over 579 of the total courses. We've had admin, instructional, non-instructional, all go in and do modules. We currently have 15 courses running, and professional development has been able to link, as the staff take a course, they also get professional development points. So some of the content that's offered: building relationships, embracing the community, how to get ready for a new school year, and managing stress, just to name a few. So I had read an article, and the article is entitled "The Importance of Building Capacity in Schools." And the author, Misty Kirby, writes about how school leaders can nurture and build teaching staff to create a truly excellent school that values the inclusive and equitable access to education. So she talks about this concept that I hadn't heard of, academic optimism. And it's a construct that needs to be considered because the way teachers' knowledge, their skills and disposition, it really can affect student achievement and how students feel about school. Academic optimism is a shared belief that student learning is important, that teachers have the capacities to help students achieve, and that students and parents can be trusted to work cooperatively to help students succeed. Inspire has a module entitled Warm Demand, and one of the key pillars to warm demand is high expectations. So the picture here at the bottom comes right from that module. And as you can see, it really does fit in very nicely with that construct of academic optimism. So teacher doesn't believe the student can do a high level of work. Teacher assigns work that is easy. Students do not master the grade level standard. And then the student internalizes negative messages about their own potential. So by utilizing Inspire, our district is helping to build that capacity and build that academic optimism and student success. When students feel like their teachers believe in them and they're in an environment that is conducive to learning, and they have those high expectations, the self-fulfilling prophecy that comes out of that is that they are successful and they do well. When that isn't there, the self-fulfilling prophecy is that they aren't successful. So that if you're going to start with anything, start with that warm demand. It's a good one. So another very exciting thing that is happening in Osceola County is the targeted use of Inspire's cultural competency topic module. We know that for true change to occur within school districts, the change and the message must come from the top. So strategically, this module, which includes topics on using critical consciousness to challenge inequity and working against racial bias, specifically began with the district leadership so that they could experience it first and begin to work on some of the systemic changes that need to occur here. Some of the feedback that I received from the district leadership was it has generated really great conversation and helped people begin to understand how to implement warm demand. We thought it was awesome too. It is easy to follow. The materials are great quality and the videos are well done. Our goal is to find a way to do these modules together because they open up all kinds of conversation and activities that are interactive. I think it makes clear the understanding around implicit bias and how it can hurt kids. There are activities that let you know and understand implicit bias that you may have. There are really good strategies that focus on the value of talking about race and school becomes very clear. A lot of reflection in the module. So the next steps are to start watching the modules with district resource teachers and with school-based leadership. Then we would like to begin working on our curriculum unit plans and embedding the ideas for teachers to use within their classrooms. Okay. So I would like to end my time with you by briefly touching on a concept that is near and dear to my heart, and that is Maslow before Bloom. Even before the pandemic, our students were coming into our classrooms without their basic needs being met, and now even more so. It is so important for you as leaders to advocate and champion for the whole child. When a child's basic needs are not met, when they don't feel safe or cared for in the classroom, learning will not occur. By focusing on SEL, relationship building, and creating safe learning environments, growth will happen. One of the things I tend to get pushback on when asking for time in the day for counselors or teachers to do SEL lessons is, we can't lose instruction time. Well, I definitely have news for them. They're losing it anyways. By implementing a program like Harmony and using Inspire for professional development, you will not only be building a strong school community, you will most definitely gain that lost instruction time back. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you what my district is, how they're using Harmony and Inspire to help all students become successful learners.
Thank you, Danielle. I am, as I'm sure our entire audience is giving you a standing ovation right now for that excellent share. I really loved, and I saw this pop up in the chat, we really loved that space that you've set up for the kids. That is pretty amazing. And the amount of visits you've had to that space, that speaks volumes. One, that it's something that kids need, and two, that you did an amazing job of creating that space and giving them, the students and the adults, the opportunity to go there and address some of those issues that they need to address. So thank you very much for that. We're close to wrapping up. Just a couple other things we want to share with you guys before we move on. Just a couple minutes to take time to think about your takeaway, reflecting on what Danielle shared, what Veronica shared, and what I shared, and think about what your takeaway is from this session. You can put them in the chat if you like, or just think about it and what you're going to take with you and what is going to be the next thing that you'll do to follow up from this conversation. I'm going to throw our emails here. Veronica's there, Danielle is there, and I'm there. Specifically, I want you to have access to Danielle so you can get more information from someone who's actually in the field, on the front lines like you are, that's doing the work and that's seeing the results within their district. So take a moment to get that information there. I'll leave it up for just a second. And then we'll talk a little bit about where we're going, show you how to access our portal, because I really would like you to go into our online learning portal, learn some more about Sanford or about Harmony SEL, learn some more about Inspire Teaching and Learning, and just get more information on how to bring these amazing resources to your district, to your organization. Like I said, to join Danielle and the over 32,000 other schools, organizations, and universities that are participating in Harmony and Inspire, here's our online learning portal. You can access both Harmony and Inspire by visiting our online learning portals at www.online.harmonysel.org. Take a minute to write that down or take a picture of the slide if you would like, and you have that information there. You also have our emails there. Again, my thanks to Veronica for joining us. My thanks to Danielle for joining us and for sharing so much about her district. And also my thanks to all of you in the room for taking time out. As Danielle said early on, you could choose any organization, you could choose any of the breakout rooms, but thank you for joining us. Have a good evening, and we hope to hear from you.